Canva.com. You can set up an account for free, and most of the tools in Canva are available for free. You don't need to pay for anything, and it's an amazing graphic design program. So what's really nice about this is that if we're still talking about presentations, you'll notice that on the home page right here, I have this option to create a design. And all of these different designs here, if I were to click on one of these, it says thumbnail, card, poster, logo. That has to do with the dimensions of the template that you're selecting. And they'll give you a bunch of templates that are already done to choose from to modify if you want to, or you can make your own and go from a blank template. But they also have up here custom dimensions if you want specific dimensions for something. However, if we're using this for a presentation, you'll see that I have presentation right here. And if I click on that, it's going to start with a blank template. Now over here on the left-hand side, I have a bunch of presentations to choose from if I want to reuse a presentation that was done by somebody else. Similar to Slides Carnival, where it'll start off with stuff being written there and stuff already in the design. However, if you want students to work on their own, they just start, this is for a presentation again, they start with a blank canvas, and over here on the left-hand side, I have my tools, most of which are free that I can add to here. So basic presentation tools would be photos, for example, some of which are free, but when it has this little symbol here, that means that you need to pay for it. But students can upload from right here. They can upload whatever picture they want from their computer and use that in their design, and there won't be a watermark. If you use things that are that you need to pay for, suppose I'm going to click on one of these, for example, when I publish my design, I'm going to have that watermark that says Canva. But if you put your own image, you won't. So this is free. There's no watermark. Now, that's for images. If I want to put different design elements, they have lots of different things here. These grids and frames are ways for you to insert a picture that's inside a frame. So if I took this and I dropped that inside there, now I have a picture that's inside a frame. And I have shapes, and I have lines, and I have all different kinds of stuff that I can add in here. Foliage, and a lot of the stuff is free. Some of the stuff's paid for, but a lot of it's free. And what's really nice about Canva and why you can make this look so professional is I have two different shapes here that are the same. They're both circles. And what I can do, upper left-hand side, I can always change the color of these if I want to. What's great about Canva is that it is layered. So if I were to click on this shape, I can choose what its position is. So if I were to click on position and I want it to be behind this image, I just press backward, and when I do that, you'll see that now it is behind this image. And I can make it a little bit smaller if I want to. And it shows you with those little pink lines when it is centered. So now you can see that this is centered over this, and that it looks really nice when I combine those two things. And some of your students will come up with insanely creative ideas when they're using Canva. And one of the reasons why I'm showing you this is because students in 7th, 8th, and 9th grade for years have had practice with this. This is one of the applications that they learn how to use. So your students are familiar with how to use this program. I have tons of different elements that I can use in here that are free, but again, so this would be a free one, for example, and when I put anything in here, I could rotate it if I want it coming from the side, for example, so that's just peeking out from the side. I can change the colors, so I could make it different colors if I wanted to. And I can do that with any one of these different elements that I include. The one below that is text, and I can add, now a lot of these templates that are already in Canva come with text there, but if I press text, I can use ones that are already here that are combinations of different text, something already written, and if I do that, once I've added it, so you can see I put that there, Parmesan cheese, I could just change the writing that's there and put something that I want to put. But if I, instead of using that one that's already there, if I were to instead press add a heading, for example, or subheading, or a little bit of body text, that's going to have a set size that it adds. So let's say I put this here, and I want this to be black, let's say. Once I've added a heading, the only difference between these is the original size that is going to be copied therein. So if I were to change this size to, let's say, 72, it's going to get smaller. And again, I can use those pink lines to center this over there if I want to. And below that, background is just standard backgrounds. Some of these you need to pay for, but if I were to put a background, it's going to put something behind everything. So let's say I were to put this. That's going to put that image behind everything, or something a little bit nicer to look at. That's a little bit hard to see, but let's change this to white. And again, remember that I can, anytime I have one of these designs, if I want something over another thing, I can just layer it using that position button. And then something else I can do is I can change the transparency. And sometimes you want things to be a little faded. So this background image, if I don't want it to be so bright, I can change the transparency and it won't be as bright of an image. And I can do the same thing for my shapes if I want to, and make them a little bit less intense. And the last thing, so these are standard backgrounds. Again, if you go down, all of these are free, but you'll find ones eventually, if you're searching for a particular background, you'll find ones that are not free and that cost money. But most of the stuff in here is free, other than the photos, but you can get your own in Google. And what's really great about this is that I can insert these because I chose the template for a presentation. I can download this image and it's going to fit perfectly as the background of one of my slides. So if I were to be creating my slides in PowerPoint here, I can make my whole PowerPoint presentation here. So you'll notice I have, let's say, slide 1 right here. Down below this, you'll see that it says I can create slide 2, and it will automatically make a copy of the same background I used for slide 1. But I could change that if I wanted to. And once I'm done, once I've gotten my whole presentation in here, up in the upper right-hand side, there's this download button. If I click on that, I can download this. I would suggest as a PNG because it's a high-quality image. I can download this as a PNG, and it's going to prepare my design, and then I'm going to see the download showing up down here. I just click on Background. Where it says Image, I press Choose Image, and then I need to browse for that file.